Now it's my great pleasure to introduce the president at St. Francis, Mr. Brendan Dugan, class of 1968, who's led the college since 2008.
Thank you, Tim. That very kind introduction. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being with us as we celebrate the founding of our college. In 1884, the state of New York approved a charter that allowed the brothers who had come to America at the behest of the local bishop to establish a mission in Brooklyn for these wild and crazy people who were assembling in great numbers in Brooklyn, south of Atlantic Avenue, called the Irish. So this is our 128th Charter Day, and it really is a tribute to those brothers who came actually 150 years ago, Franciscan brothers, to form an academy, which at the time was located in Cobble Hill, right here in Brooklyn. So we're celebrating really the great history and tradition of the college, but we're also today especially celebrating the community of faculty and students, the community of administrators, and the community as defined by those who we partner with in the pursuit of our mission. And the mission of our college is very simple to describe, but it's a very important mission and a powerful one. We are here to provide a first-class education to our constituents, our students, at an affordable cost. And we try to do that in an environment that embodies the Franciscan values upon which we were founded. Those of serving one another, offering hospitality, and creating a caring community. The community here at the college is a strong one, and the concept is very important to all of us. We also define our community by our friends and neighbors in Brooklyn and that outer borough, or all the outer boroughs, like Manhattan and Queens. And that perhaps steals a line from Marty's book. Forgive me. We're very proud of our relationships and our partnerships with other groups and other people in our community, and we work really hard at playing up our role, given the culture that I just explained. So we've been showing during the period when you were all gathering and scrolling the names of some of the organizations that we partner with to try to make Brooklyn and New York City a better place. And I want to especially thank those who are with us from and representing those entities and companies and organizations. So thank you very much to the partners who help us do what we do in terms of our outreach program to the community. Students, of course, are our central focus, and I'm happy to have you all here to witness the induction of our best and brightest students to our Duns Scotus Honor Society. We also today will be joining with one of our strong community partners and loyal community partners, National Grid, in recognizing 3 of our students as they receive internships and scholarships at National Grid. There are something like 120, probably more by now, graduates of our college who are either presently working at National Grid or are retirees from National Grid. So they have been a very special partner to us, and we thank them especially for what they've done to help us fulfill our mission. Our community is also, of course, made up of faculty, administration, and staff. They are enthusiastic, and they are the embodiment of these Franciscan values I've been talking about. Today, we honor 13 of our own for their commitment and longstanding service to our institution and our students. We celebrate community through our civic connections, and no one embodies better community and Brooklyn than our honoree for a doctorate degree, Borough President Marty Markowitz. We also are gathered to honor with a St. Clare Medal of Honor Mr. John Loconsolo, who is a philanthropist and a major supporter of Catholic education in Brooklyn and beyond. So thanks to all of you for coming today. I hope you enjoy our program, and I hope you feel welcome and are able to join us later on for some refreshment following our program. But now it's time to get on with the formal part of our program. And I would like to start by introducing Tomasz Towith, who is the president of the Duns Scotus Honor Society. And I want to tell you a little about him before he comes on. From early on in his time at the college, he's been fully engaged, not just in the academic program of the college, but also in clubs and organizations. For instance, he is a 4-year member of our swimming and water polo team, the water polo team that in 2010 represented the college in Brooklyn, in California, in the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament for water polo. Beyond that, and getting to perhaps the Franciscan ideal part of his resume, he has worked through the nonprofit organization Job Path to provide academic and other support to 2 autistic students here at the college. Tomas has helped them with taking notes, doing homework, writing papers, and even helping them get to and from the college. In one semester, he actually attended 10 classes in order to help these other 2 students. And that's twice the class load that most other students would be taking. He seems to have liked his experience here, because we're happy to say that his younger brother is now also enrolled at the college. So we look forward to further years of service and support and academic prowess from his family. As a business management major, Tomasz is also a member of the Finance and the Eastern European Club, and he carries a 3.82 grade point average after being able to do all of that in service and extracurricular activities. So today, please join me in welcoming Tomasz as he presides over the induction in the Duns Scotus Honor Society. Tomasz.
Thank you, President Dugan. Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful spring day today. Thank you. And welcome to the 128th Charter Day. We are here today to recognize and further encourage a small group of students with awarding them membership to the society. The students have not only excelled in their academics, but they also proved distinguished participation in their clubs, societies, and athletic teams. Indeed, election to membership in the society is based on strong scholastic standing, participation in at least 2 extracurricular activities, evidence of loyalty to the ideals of St. Francis College, and demonstration of a true Franciscan spirit, which begins with service and care for the others. But before I introduce the new inductees, let me take a moment to acknowledge individuals who contributed to the society this year. First of all, let me thank Dennis McDermott, Vanessa Diamida, Robert Oliva, and Dr. Francis J. Green for helping to organize the first Duns Scotus Honor Society luncheon in March. Also, I would like to thank President Brendan Dugan, Vice President June McGriskin, and Vice President Linda Weber-Deshevsky for joining us on the luncheon. It is hard to find words to express how important it was for us to meet and talk to you. Also, let me thank Travis Hendrick for doing an excellent work in designing the Duns Scotus Honor Society's logo. You can find the logo on the top of page 3 in your program. At this point, I would like to introduce the moderator of the society, Dr. Francis J. Green. Also, our current student members of the society are Vice President Soha Mahmoud, Secretary Lauren Ventron, Clement Kairuz, and Richard Polgar. Juliana Kuberski and Zena Abuasi, unfortunately, were unable to join us today. Now I would like to invite Dr. Green and Dean Howell to help me present our inductees with the Duns Scotus Honor Society pin, tassel, and certificate. I'm going to ask each of the inductees to, one at a time, to stand up and come up here and receive your certificate. Let me start with the juniors. Our first inductee this year is Rajko Kisdobransky. His major is information technology. He's part of the Eastern European Club and the Met Club. Our second candidate is Zara Mahmoud, who is a communication arts major and she has a concentration in advertising. She's part of the honors program and the Film Appreciation Society. And she's going to be the president of the society next year. Our third candidate is Guram Nozadze. His major is biology, and he has a minor in chemistry. He is part of the men's water polo team and the Eastern European Club. He's going to serve as the vice president of the society next year. Our next candidate is Hanan Omar Selim. Her major is chemistry, and she has a minor in mathematics. She is part of the Leo Club and the Muslim Student Association. Our next candidate is Nicole Terzulli. She has a double major. She's majoring in accounting and business management. She is part of the Economic Society and the Investment Club. Now let me introduce you the senior inductees. Our first senior is Joseph Achurito, who is a physical education major. She's part of the We Make a Difference Club and the Kappa Delta Pi. Our next senior is Mohammed Ahmed. She's a chemistry major. He is part of the Muslim Student Association and the Biomedical Club. Our next candidate is Campbell Bird. She's an English major. She's part of the Women's Water Polo Club and the Women's Swimming and Diving team. Our next inductee is Grace Curatolo. She's a childhood education major, and she's part of the Education Club and the Kappa Delta Pi Society. Our next candidate is Charlene Sippersaud. She is an economics major, and she has a concentration in finance and a minor in accounting. She is part of the Finance Club and the Investment Club. Our next inductee is Nemanja Simonovic. He is an accounting major. He's part of the men's water polo team and the Accounting Society. And our next candidate is Bridget Slavik, who is an English major. She is part of the Honors Club and the Book Club. That should conclude the student inductees of the society this year. Now please join me to present this year's honorary member, Ruben Gonzalez. Ruben is a director of student activities who graduated from the college in 2004. He was selected this year because he represents the unselfishness and the Franciscan spirit so exemplified in the life of Duns Scotus. At this point, I would like to ask the new members, in addition to the past inductees, to please rise as we recite the Duns Scotus Honor Society pledge. You can find the pledge on page 4 of your program. If you are ready, please repeat after me. Realizing the aims of Duns Scotus, membership in a society under his protection, we will forever hold close the attributes linked with the name of our patron. In service, scholarship, and individual character, we will assume as our way of life, in church and in the state, the ideals evidenced in his life, namely, clarity of vision, innocence of mind, strictness of responsibility, and service to God. You may sit now. Once again, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Tomasz. It is now my pleasure to introduce Lorraine Lynch from the class of 1991, who will present the National Grid Scholarships and Internships. As President Dugan noted earlier, National Grid has emerged as a true partner for the college, offering not just the scholarship and a significant number of internships, but they've also provided a pathway to employment for dozens of St. Francis alumni. Lorraine?
Good afternoon. My name is Lorraine Lynch, and I'm Vice President of U.S. Treasury for National Grid. As a graduate in the class of 91 and also a member of the Alumni Board here at the college, it's my pleasure to be here with you today. President Dugan, John Tully, Chairman of the Board, esteemed Board of Trustee members, honorary degree recipient, Brooklyn Borough President Marty Markowitz, St. Clare Service Medal recipient, John Loconsolo, faculty, students, and guests. This year represents the 6th year that National Grid and St. Francis College are awarding this scholarship and internship. It is truly a reflection of the partnership between the college and the company, as National Grid has transitioned from predecessor companies right here in Brooklyn in this very location to now its location in Metro Tech. It's been a great opportunity for students to work and learn in such a close proximity. Graduating from the college some 20 years ago, I started out as an intern. This program wasn't in place at that time, but the internship opportunity at National Grid allowed me to continue my education, to also gain work experience while still going to school, and also fortunate to remain with the company since graduation. As President Dugan mentioned, we have over 100 alumni at the company that graduated from the college. With me here today is actually Ken Daly, class of 1988, who's president of National Grid for New York and also a member of the board. Ken? He's sitting way in the back. In continuing that partnership, I'd like to announce the 3 recipients for this year. The first recipient, Matthew Galliano. Sean Rottemore. And James Casano. Congratulations to the recipients, to their families, and a thank you to St. Francis College for the continued partnership with National Grid.
Thank you, Lorraine. I'd also point out that Ken, in addition to being an alumnus and now a member of the board, is also a former faculty member. And perhaps I can get him back to teach again, but he claims to be busy. I don't know. So it is my pleasure once again to ask President Dugan to come back because he gets the great pleasure this time of introducing Marty Markowitz, Brooklyn Borough President.
So today we honor Marty Markowitz, Brooklyn's beloved borough president, for his tireless service to the people of Brooklyn. Magic. It's amazing what a president can do, you know? We're all very excited to have Marty become an official alum of St. Francis College. Judging by the amount of time and energy he has expended on our behalf, he almost feels like an alum already. Thanks to Marty and his help and support in obtaining a grant for us, the beautiful lighting and sound system which we now enjoy, and which and lots of other technology now is available in this room. This ensures our ability to continue to host public events, which, as I mentioned before, includes our programs for senior citizens, community groups, and not-for-profits. You know, having state-of-the-art facilities for them to use is really important, and it helps us fulfill, again, that role in the community which we aspire to do in our mission. Marty has served as borough president for 10 years now. His legacy is great. He works tirelessly to promote affordable housing, neighborhood preservation, community development, witness areas like Coney Island, Greenpoint, Williamsburg, downtown Brooklyn itself, advocating for us with respect to auto insurance rates, cleaning up Newtown Creek, encouraging development of the Brooklyn cruise ship terminal, and wooing corporate headquarters and companies to our area, being an advocate of the recent success over at 370J, a derelict property which is now going to be a showplace in downtown Brooklyn and create jobs and all sorts of economic activities. Marty has also enacted programs to boost civic pride, improve health, promote tourism, and empower young Brooklynites. As a long advocate for seniors, he has fought vigorously to keep senior citizen centers open in the wake of or in the face of budget cuts. He's also fought to save Brooklyn's financially troubled medical institutions. He has caused the creation of new high schools to be created. He is, in fact, a marketing and public relations dynamo. Everyone in this room, as I alluded to before, knows that Manhattan is now an outer borough as a result of the accumulation of all of Marty's programs and achievements. Things like Shop Brooklyn, Lighten Up Brooklyn, Take Your Man to the Doctor campaigns, Camp Brooklyn, Jobs for Youth programs, Dine in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Book Festival, of which we are a proud co-sponsor and partner with the Borough President's Office, the Smart Brooklyn Gallery Hop, and all the things with respect to Brooklyn tourism. As I say, a marketing and civic dynamo and incredible citizen. Prior to becoming borough president, Marty served in the New York State Senate for 23 years. He began his public career in 1971 at the age of 26 by organizing the Flatbush Tenants Council, which grew into the Brooklyn Housing and Family Services Organization, which is the largest tenant advocacy organization in New York State. 1973, he founded the Senior Citizens League of Flatbush, an organization that is still very much alive and growing. So, for all the foregoing reasons, St. Francis College is extremely pleased and honored to present the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa to Marty Markowitz, our Borough President.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very kind. Thank you, President Dugan. Thank you very, very much. And I have to tell you, my mother, frankly, when I was growing up, wanted me to be a doctor, actually a dentist. I'm happy to tell her when I speak to her later tonight or over the weekend that, in fact, took a few years. But I'll have a doctorate in my title. She wanted me to be a dentist, actually, and I can't think, well, it's a great profession. You never go hungry, that's for sure. But when I had to open up that frog in high school, that I knew that was not to be my profession, that's for sure. But anyway, thank you very, very much. First off, let me, if I may, give a shout out to Ken Daly. It's an honor to work with him. Of course, they call it National Grid now, but I'll always call it Brooklyn Union Gas. Of course, if I had my way, it would still be Brooklyn Union Gas, and the London office would be the auxiliary office, and Brooklyn would be the international headquarters. Maybe under Ken's leadership that will happen. I do look at him as my younger, slightly younger brother. In fact, if you look at Ken and I think we look remarkably alike. I really do. Because you have to have a good imagination, Ken, that's for sure. Alan Fishman, I have to say, Alan Fishman, what can I say? He's involved in anything that happens in Brooklyn. He's got more titles than I'll ever have in my life. And the amazing thing is he juggles them all. I don't know how he does it. There's only so many hours in a day. And this man is, I don't know what to tell you. Any organization that's fortunate to get his involvement in the leadership is an organization on its way to great success. Alan, thank you very, very much. Thank you. As well as a member of my tribe. It's good to have two of us here. Anyway, let me, if I may, also, Brendan Dugan mentioned before about the outer boroughs, and of course we do look at all those other boroughs as the outer borough, but actually it's factual, and I'll tell the students why. We have 5 boroughs, am I right? Manhattan, you can go directly from Manhattan to New Jersey, right? Lincoln Tunnel, Holland Tunnel, am I right? From Queens, you can go directly to Long Island. It's true. From the Bronx, you can go to New Jersey or Westchester, right? From Staten Island, you can go directly to New Jersey. The only borough that you can't leave the New York City directly from is Brooklyn. In order to leave New York City, Brooklyn's the only borough you have to go through another borough to leave. So, here's the question. Who's the inner borough? And where are the outer boroughs? It's true. I'm not making it up. Anyway, to my fellow Irishmen, St. Francis President Brendan Dugan, and Provost Timothy Houlihan, and Board Chair John Tully, as well as all the trustees. And by the way, I can call them my fellow Irishmen because I'm an honorary Irishman myself for many years. What you may not know is I'm proud chair of the Loyal League of Yiddish Sons and Daughters of Erin. And I'm very proud of that. Maybe that's why I'm getting this honorary degree today. Who knows? You know, I get the in crowd, let me tell you. Of course, no green bagels today. I hold off on that for St. Patrick's, that's for sure. I want to commend St. Francis College for its charitable spirit, which includes its efforts to promote the arts, as President Dugan said, our Brooklyn Book Festival, as well as raising money for Brooklyn Bridge Park Conservancy and so much more. St. Francis is not only dedicating to preparing the students, the future, for the future, but are actively engaged in playing a very meaningful role in improving the quality of life for everyone. By the way, the grant that I was able to give, we have to tell the students, it's not my money. Okay, it's your money, and they allow me as borough president just to redirect too little of it, that's for sure. So it was my pleasure to return just a little bit to you. I'd also like to congratulate all of today's scholarship recipients, honor society inductees, and of course award winners. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here on the 128th anniversary of St. Francis College Charter Day Convocation. Incidentally, when you began having this, when the charter was granted, Brooklyn was not a borough. We were a city. For the young folks here, Brooklyn is only a borough since 1898. Before that, we were a city. It was Manhattan, a.k.a. New York City, and the city of Brooklyn. And my title, well, it would have been mayor. Not borough president. Anyway. But I'm grateful for this honorary doctorate. Thank you. As I say, a tree grows in Brooklyn, and a lot of other things. And Brooklyn is definitely the borough of trees, so there's no doubt that St. Francis, had he been with us today, would feel right at home here in Brooklyn. In fact, he would fit right into Brooklyn with all of our environmental activists. And even if you saw him talking to the birds in Prospect Park, you would think he was just another character. And when you think of characters, that name is Brooklyn big time. Speaking of birds, I have to tell you, as an animal lover, I bet St. Francis would have been approved of me speaking today, since my son, and the only son I'll ever have, is an 11-year-old African gray parrot by the name of Beep. Now, St. Francis would probably also live in Park Slope, for sure, because it's the most environmentally active community in New York City. But with the cost of brownstones, I'm not so sure he could have swung it, that's for sure. But he definitely would have been on a bike, for sure. So he would love our bike lanes, though if you ask me, I'm not so crazy about some of them, but it's the way it is. And boy, I'll tell you, during the Atlantic Yards debate, oh boy, could have we used his skills as a peacemaker, big time. By the way, I know there's a bit of ongoing debate about Franciscans, about which habit should be worn, brown or black, gray, hooded, modified, but I bet if he were alive today, there would be no doubt, Brendan, that he would wear his jeans ripped and torn, not because he was into grunge, but because it was a sign of his humility. Now, how much better can a Jewish boy do today than to get an honorary degree from St. Francis College? Wait 1 second, I know. There is one better. Forget about Sandy Koufax, Neil Diamond, Barbra Streisand, Kenneth Cole, Woody Allen, Calvin Klein, Michael Dell, Albert Einstein, and yes, Mayor Michael Bloomberg. The Jew with the biggest name recognition of all time and the most successful Jew ever. Name was Jesus. And as you know, the borough president of Brooklyn, we're also called the County of Kings, as you know. And some people come up to me and say, Marty, or introduce me as the King of Brooklyn. And I always have to remind them what happened to the last Jew. They proclaimed king. But in all seriousness, I'm honored by this degree, and it's a pleasure to be here. Between the school's great academics and the streets of Brooklyn, there's no doubt that St. Francis graduates have the world's best education. And what a better place to be than Brooklyn, the epicenter of art and creativity, environmental activism and literature, and innovation, hipsters, artisanal cuisine, business, indie music and film, the stroller derby capital of New York City in America, not to mention that we're the pizza capital, the cheesecake capital, the red velvet capital, and between Barks and Nathan's, the hot dog capital. And there's no wonder that GQ magazine named Brooklyn, as in the November issue, as the coolest city on the planet. I must tell you, it doesn't get any sweeter than that. You know, I always say how sweet it is. Not only last year's Brooklyn writers won 6 of 20 nationally granted Pulitzer Prizes, 6 of them last year, Brooklyn residents. Unbelievable. And this year, there were very few Pulitzer Prizes on it, very few, much fewer than last year. We had a winner, Tracy K. Smith of Borum Hill, won a Pulitzer Prize for poetry for a book, Life on Mars. Brooklyn is also currently home to at least 12 executive editors, that means the number one person other than the publisher, of major magazines, Smart Money, Good Housekeeping, Glamour, and Martha Stewart Living. Not bad, by the way. We also have something in Brooklyn no other part of the city has. Our Greek population in Brooklyn is the second largest in New York City, a story of being larger, but no place else do we grow Greeks from African Americans and Latinos than our Greek Hellenic School in Park Slope on Fifth Avenue. Let's see anyone try to beat that. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Incidentally, some of the slogans that we use in Brooklyn, just to remind some older Brooklynites here, as well as younger, and I hope you like these, and one or two, you believe me, they're all in good fun, and nothing to be ashamed of. Brooklyn, share a slice, I like that one. Brooklyn, where New York City begins, we know that's true. Have your cake in Brooklyn too, nice. Brooklyn, and this is true, only the strongest survive. Brooklyn, where the bridge is only the beginning, nice. Brooklyn, the 10th planet, okay, one of my favorites. Brooklyn, in your face and in your heart, I like it. Brooklyn, bring your attitude, we got ours. Oh, that's a good one. Now, I hope you don't mind this one, but it's in good taste. Brooklyn, it's more than a freaking tree, okay. It's not your imagination, it's Brooklyn. Brooklyn, the accent of New York, for sure. And finally, the one that was really selected by a committee, Brooklyn, it's like an everything bagel. So just give you a little idea of where you're at here in Brooklyn. So, whether St. Francis graduates studied business or science or the arts, communications, physical education, or political science, they all have earned their BSs, and you'll earn your BAs. And of course, BS, I mean Brooklyn savvy, and BA, I mean Brooklyn attitude. And when I say Brooklyn attitude, I mean that you're tough. I don't care where you come from. Once you're here, you're tough, you're resilient, you're ambitious, you're determined, you're innovative, you don't take no for an answer, and it means that you can chomp people off their feet and be in their face at the same time. That's okay. That's why St. Francis grads are ready to take the world by storm. Just look at all the St. Francis alumni. You heard a couple of them, Ken and others, that are at the top of their fields, whether it's on stage in the boardroom, baseball diamond, or the ballot box, that's for sure. St. Francis grads are always shining in every field of endeavor. With all the success of previous graduates, there's no doubt that our graduates, future graduates, will continue churning out talented graduates that we'll all be talking about in the days ahead. Now, I must tell you, one of the best things about my job, segueing for a second, is the personalities that I meet. And it's true, any of you that may go into public life, whether it's an elected official or like Alan, involved in so many great organizations. And if you're involved with the public, you meet stories and individuals, and I'm not going to take your time here. But one stands out, and it just happened about a year and a half ago. Second graders, Borough Hall is a historic building, 1848, and we're always being visited by foreign tourists as well as local folks, and schools come all the time. And second graders from Crown Heights toured the school, toured Borough Hall, went upstairs to the courtroom, and invited me up to answer some questions. And I do that regularly if I'm available, and I'm delighted to do so. And so the school, after they toured, I took a couple questions from the kids, and it's a true story. The first kid asked me, "Mister, are you married?" Now, I must tell you, that's not a regular question I get from 8-year-olds, that's for sure. But I said, yes, I am married. In fact, I married, I told the kids, my first and only marriage at age 55. A month or two shy of 55 years old, I finally say, "Will you?" And, of course, I'm lucky that she said, "Yes, I will." And we married, and I said, and that was it. Next kid said, "Mister, do you have any kids?" I said, well, by the time I married at 50, it's hard with 8-year-olds. It just wasn't in the cards. You know, my wife's a little younger than me, well, a couple of years younger, but but I said, I do have a kid. I do have a kid. He's 11 years old, and his name is Beep. And then I showed all the kids my son. Name is Beep. He's 11 years old. And so the kids are laughing and joking and jumping. They loved it. So help me, here it comes now. The next kid said, "Mister, is your wife a parrot?" No joke, no joke. And for one of the first times in my life, I was speechless. Because had I answered the truth, I'm sure the New York Daily News or the Post would have had a field day that I'm polluting the minds of 8-year-olds. So all I did was I deferred to the teachers and punted to them, and God bless. That's all I could say. Thank you for honoring me today. I'll treasure this honorary degree. And to the students, make your mark and don't mess up.
Thank you, Marty. Unfortunately, I don't have to follow you. Instead, I get to give that honor to my colleague, Thomas Flood, who is the Vice President for Development, who will present the St. Clare Service Medal this year.
Marty, that was fantastic. We're thinking about holding a charity event, a comedy show. So you're going to bleed it. But anyway, good afternoon, everyone. As we come to celebrate St. Francis College's charter and mission, we recognize that another academic year draws to a close. Summer break is right around the corner, which also means that blockbuster movies will be hitting the big screen soon. And they are usually about superheroes. This summer, the likes of Batman, Spider-Man, Iron Man teaming up with Thor and Captain America will hit those big screens. And there's so many more. These heroes in their alternate fictitious worlds are front and center in the papers protecting the public. The heroes I know do things quietly, humbly, with little fanfare, with the intention of making a difference, creating a ripple of goodwill. SFC, St. Francis College, is blessed to have superheroes, including President Dugan and his wife Barbara, Dr. Frank and Mary Macchiarola, Dr. Frank Green and so many others on the faculty, June McGriskin and so many others in the administration, and of course, our Franciscan brothers of Brooklyn. Give them a round of applause. They are superheroes. The Brooklyn community has them too. You just heard from one of them. But I have the privilege and distinct pleasure of introducing another one. His name is John Loconsolo. He is not faster than a speeding bullet, nor is he more powerful than a locomotive. And regrettably, he's not able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. But he does. He does have the biggest heart around, has a commitment to children and their education beyond compare, has an exemplary good soul, and is the consummate dream maker. These are his special powers, and he humbly chooses to share them in liberty and justice for all. He is an unsung hero that goes above and beyond. We refer to him as Brooklyn's Archangel. But the over 40 children that he supports annually, and I think the number is even north of that, with his scholarships, they call him Angel John. John is not your prototypical summer blockbuster superhero, but he, as well as our other honoree, Brooklyn Borough President Marty Markowitz, are certainly members of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. When President Dugan shares the words of St. Francis, preach the gospel at all times, and when necessary use words, I immediately think of John Loconsolo. He is an inspiration and a role model. He is one of God's angels sent to us to make a difference in the lives of others. You have seen and heard the commercials, Be Like Mike. Today, we ask everyone to be like John, an angel for others. We are truly, truly blessed to have John among the heroes for this year's Charter Day and recipient of the St. Clare Medal for Distinguished Service to the community. Today, we celebrate his heroic acts, his commitment to serving others, and his extraordinary ability to spread charity, hope, and love through the gift of Catholic education. He saves and changes lives with very little fanfare. Please join me in welcoming and thanking our St. Clare Medal recipient, John Loconsolo. Now, as John makes his way up, let us also recognize John's daughters, two of whom are with us today, and his niece. Let's call them, one of you stand and be recognized as well. Let's call them John's little angels and thank them for generously sharing their dad with us, his Brooklyn family, and for being like John in so many ways. Go ahead, John.
Now, there were only 3 of my 8 daughters. In any event, all I want to say is thank you very much to St. Francis College. I appreciate the medal that I'm being awarded, and more than that, I appreciate watching all these people here and seeing what a great education they're getting at a great college. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Loconsolo, and thank you, Tom. So, this is the part where they make me talk. But I'll make it go fast because we're already running a little behind. It is my great privilege to announce the Service Awards, which are given for 15 and 25 years of service, both from the faculty and for the administration and staff. I'll start with the faculty, and I'll ask Mr. Dugan if he could be up front to hand out the certificates. The Pax et Bonum Medal, instituted by the Board of Trustees and named for one of the earliest greetings of St. Francis. This medal recognizes and honors those members of the faculty who have completed 15 and 25 years of dedicated, loyal service at St. Francis College. A driving force in the life of St. Francis and his followers for more than 700 years, peace and goodness is a simple yet meaningful expression of the objective of Franciscan educators. The bestowal of this Medal of Franciscan Education represents the highest praise and tribute of the St. Francis College community and assures a continuing extension of peace and goodness at the college. And as I call your name, if you could go up and meet Mr. Dugan. For 15 years of service as a faculty member, Professor Esther Del Busto, Adjunct Professor of Spanish, Department of Foreign Languages. Professor and brother, Gary Gaynor, class of 1964, Assistant Professor of Mathematics. Professor and Dean, Michelle Hirsch, Professor in the Department of Psychology and the Assistant Academic Dean. And Professor and Director, Dr. Ian Maloney, Associate Professor in the Department of English, Director of the College Honors Program, and Director of the College Writing Program. And Professor and all-around good guy, Dr. Behrooz Tabrizi, Professor at the Department of Economics, History, and Political Science. And for 25 years of service as a faculty member, Professor Arthur D. Clementi, class of 1964, Department of Mathematics. The President's Award was instituted in 1972 to honor non-instructional personnel. The award recognizes dedicated, loyal, and preeminent service by the members of the administration and staff who have completed 15 and 25 years of dedicated service. The bestowal of the award acknowledges accumulated service, interrupted or not, and pays tribute to the significant contribution that non-instructional personnel make to the college. The President's Award is the highest service honor administration and staff members can receive, and with it comes the college community's grateful appreciation. For 15 years of service, Kenitha Alahar, class of 2010, Accounts Payable Assistant and Secretary, to June McGriskin, Executive Vice President. And June didn't let her come in today. Now I got to look around and make sure people are here. Is Brother Tom here? I thought so. For 15 years of service, Brother Thomas Grady, the Director of Campus Ministry. Mr. Stephen Maresca, Tutor, Office of Academic Enhancement. And Susan Young from the library. She tried to fool me by staying in the back. And in acknowledgement of 25 years of service, Mr. Joseph Kelly, Associate Director of Student Accounts. Thank you all. Let's give them all a round of applause. So 3 quick announcements, then we'll have the benediction, the alma mater, and then we'll all go have something to eat. So announcement 1, these were written very carefully. Honored guests, members of Duns Scotus, including all you new members, the National Grid Scholars, and the Service Award recipients should gather in the back of the Callahan Center, the room adjacent to Founders Hall. I think everybody knows that part. For group photographs. Everyone else is invited to the cafeteria for our reception, where our honorees will join you shortly. Announcement number 2 is from the choir. They'll be performing their spring concert tonight at 6 in the Maroney Theater on the 7th floor. The performance is free and everyone is invited. And announcement number 3, after the benediction and the singing of the alma mater, the stage party will recess. We ask that the rest of you remain in your seats until the recessional is complete. So it is now my great pleasure to ask Brother Thomas Grady, the Director of Campus Ministry and a graduate of the class of 1968, to come forward for the benediction.
Thank you. Our closing prayer today is from the book of Numbers. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you and have mercy. May the Lord turn his countenance toward you and give you peace. May the Lord bless you all. Amen.